Well, it's not every day I'm joined by two members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame here in the KRON 4 studios, but today is a special day. We've got John Riggins and Dick Butkus here, and they're here for a special reason. That's to talk about fairness for athletes in retirement, an organization that John started with his wife, Lisa Marie, to help promote fairness among retired NFL players who retired prior to 1993. Right. John, what inspired you and Lisa Marie to start this organization?
First, I have to say, and I did an interview this morning, and I kind of glossed over it, but we kind of picked up the baton from a group before us. They weren't really officially, they didn't have a name, but it was people that had played, players that had gone on before and tried to get some pension parity with the current players in the NFL and also with other sports leagues, you know, in the country, baseball, basketball, and even hockey. But it was really more of a situation of seeing former teammates, and, you know, some of them are in dire straits, really. And, you know, you look at the pensions and you compare what the guys are going to make today when they get to be retirement age and the guys that played before 93. And I mean, that's the cutoff line. There's a huge disparity there. And really, basically, that's it. It's an awareness program that we've got going here, and we're starting to get some traction. And just to bring it to people's attention and to try to shift the court of public opinion into getting the Players Association and the National Football League, the owners, to donate some more money for this cause.
Dick, what made you want to get involved with FAIR?
Well, it's just something I feel obligated to do for my fellow players that, you know, I kind of related to like George Halas, right? He started the league, and all those guys that played for him, I kind of looked after or followed, Red Grange, all these guys. And so then when I played with the Bears, I was influenced by those people, and hopefully I influenced some people after me. So here comes George Halas, who starts this from nothing to where now it's worth maybe $4 billion or so, the Chicago Bears. Yeah, but what happened to the guys that were in the trenches at the very beginning, And so each time we go along, that things change, but for some reason, those guys prior to 93 are kind of forgotten. And we're talking about 4,000 guys. What is it, 100 and some maybe die off each year. So
140.
It's not going to be forever. And I just think it's right. Do the right thing. These guys, help build this league to what it is now. And, someday these players that are playing today are going to get older, and they're going to be wondering with their aches and pains, So it's just like John said, get people aware of it, and because we really don't have anybody representing, we have to have the Players Association represent us.
Correct.
So
yeah, there's nothing that what I want to say, fiduciarily speaking, that they're obligated. It really is like my wife says. It's really more of a moral issue, where you present your case to people, and I think really this goes to the heart of the fan. That these are the guys that, I don't want to say we made the game, we didn't, but we contributed mightily to it. And after that, our era of players passed through, the value of the league, the value of the franchise has skyrocketed, and I think that we have a little bit of equity in that, and that's basically what we're asking for, I think.
What has the reception been so far from the NFL and the NFL Players Association?
Well, right now, I think because just since this past Super Bowl, I think it's when FAIR really kind of made an imprint on everybody. There was an article in USA Today. There was an article in the New York Times. So all of a sudden, it's gained some national attention. We've had some discussion with certain people in the NFL, some executives. We've also talked to people with the Players Union. The reception hasn't been open-armed, I will say that, but there's been interest, and I'm confident that there will be some kind of a resolution to everybody's satisfaction.
And so the goal is to bring this to the table when the collective bargaining agreement is up for negotiations in 2020. What do you anticipate happening at that meeting?
I think good things will come out of it. I think it's, if we educate the current players about what it's all about, I think they'll see, and I think it'll work. I think they'll help us out.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Dick. But I was just going to add that I'm pretty sure that we can make a pretty strong case that that nobody's going to suffer. It's not exactly like we're going to take away all the trimmings that the current players have. I don't think they're really going to notice you know, they might be able to only buy, you know, 4 bottles of wine every night instead of 10. I don't know. My point being is that we're talking about an amount of money that is there, that exists, that nobody's really going to miss, and it's the good that it's going to do for a group of guys. You know, you really can't put a price tag on that.
Well, I can't let you get away without sharing some of your favorite moments from your time in the NFL. Dick, I'll start with you. Do you have one moment that stands out as being the best?
Oh, I just think getting elected to the Hall of Fame, I think it was a culmination of something I started out when I was, you know, in grammar school, really. I know everybody said they loved to play and all that in an early age, but I was stone cold serious about it, and I did and devoted my whole life to it. And to be rewarded by getting in the Hall was a culmination of lifelong goal. And what happens is, what do I do next? That's, you know, when you love something so much and your career is over after 30 years old, it's tough to find that second career. So getting in the Hall is, I can always look at that as something I accomplished.
And Dick doesn't know this, but back in the day, I came in the league in 1971, and the Chicago Tribune, I believe it was, had the All-Star game. Yep. And the All-Stars were the college kids that came out that were drafted, and they would practice in Chicago for 3 weeks, and they would play the world champions. And part of that, they would go down to Rensselaer, Indiana, where the Bears practiced. They had 2-a-days, and scrimmage the Bears before they would play the world champions. The year I was playing happened to be the Baltimore Colts. So we're going down to scrimmage the Bears. I was a running back, and of course Dick played, and of course everybody knew who Dick Butkus was. I followed him when I was in high school. And I feel like my best moment in the NFL was the fact that Dick was hurt that day and didn't have to play, and didn't play. So I avoided having to go against Dick Butkus, and that's my real good story. I live to tell the tale, basically.
Yeah, 71 was a bad year for me. Yeah.
I think there are a lot of players who probably wish they shared your story.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much to you both for being here. We're certainly looking forward to seeing how far this can go with FAIR and keeping our eye on this wonderful organization.
Cool, thank you.